joining us today. It's another section um, for our in-person hangout. We are at the Freeport Memorial Library. And today, as we all know, June is for our fathers. We are dedicating this month for our fathers. We've been having series on how we can help our fathers, taking care of our fathers. And the topic before us today is when men cry. When men cry, creating safe spaces for fathers. Yes, we all have this notion of fathers are strong, fathers don't cry, fathers are brave. It's only coward fathers that cry. But what if I tell you that fathers do cry too? Yes, they do cry. They do cry. So how can we help them as mothers? We all have in mind that yes, they pay the bills, they support us, they show us love, they take care of the children. There are a lot of things about fatherhood. So today we are going to be talking about emotional safety for fathers. Emotional safety for fathers. We have a workbook here with us that we'll be discussing. So the first thing we have on our workbook today is write one word that comes to your mind when you hear the word fatherhood. And also today, I have my husband with me. He's going to be helping us, talking to us from the father's perspective, because we really want to make this section interactive. So I'm going to put the question to you, sir. Write one word that comes to your mind when you hear the word fatherhood. Can you please share with us one word of fatherhood?
Fatherhood, as it implies, is someone in the place of a father, someone who takes responsibility for others. Most of the time, it's not because you bet the child biologically that makes you a father. You become a father basically because you are responsible for that child or for that family. That's where the word, I mean, that's my own definition of fatherhood because you are being responsible for someone and trying to mold the person in a way that you feel will be better for the person and for the future of the person.
Thank you so much for sharing. While we wait for other people to join the conversation, we'll go to the next point, which says, write one word that makes you feel emotionally safe. What makes you feel emotionally safe?
Uh, Emotionally safe, I don't know, peace. I can say peace. Uh, it's hard to come by, and that's the truth because as a father, you have to think about a lot of things. You have to think about your family, you have to think about your children, you have to think about everything that you want to take away your peace. But the main thing about it is you just have to find that peace, find time to rest your mind, find time to be at peace with yourself, no matter how much stress or distress you might be going through, find time to create peace.
So, what does emotional safety mean to you?
Emotional safety. Emotional safety is, I would say, is an avenue for you to be safe in a particular in a particular environment. How do I mean? It's hard to be safe emotionally at work. Why do I say so? Is because there you have been stressed out with a lot of responsibilities to take care of and all those things. When it comes to safety of your emotions, I think the best place to find it is in the heart of your partner. How do I mean? Because a good wife will want to always seek out a way to make sure that the house is conducive enough for you to come to at all time. The house is peaceful enough for you to always want to come home. You know, because a lot of people don't know it. When men don't want to come home, it's based on the fact that they are not emotionally safe to come home, and that's something that a lot that results into a lot of divorce because the emotion they find safety in another place, which now should not be. A home should be a safe haven of an it's emotional safe zone for anybody, especially for the man of the house.
Thank you so much for sharing. But in a situation whereby, yes, the home or the environment may be a little bit hostile, but it's not intentional from the um, wife perspective. Maybe the wife is trying to, but can I use the word? Maybe the man is expecting more or the woman is expecting more, and that is making the man to step back. Some people believe maybe when they step back or when they stop talking, there will be peace. There will be peace in the home. So, what are the things a woman can do to help in that situation? Some men they don't drink initially. Some men they don't club initially. Some men they don't hang out before they got married. But after getting married, they have to start going to club, to while away time, start hanging around friends to while away time. So, what are the things the woman can do to make the man emotionally safe?
Uh, from my own perspective, I would say show more intimacy, show more love, show more care, be receptive enough to accept when you're at fault, and look out for him. How do I mean look out for him? Men most of the time, once they once they start to get to that point in their life where they start seeing options.
Mm,
When they start seeing options, then that is when there's a lot of problems. And that's why that reservation comes in. Like, oh, I have a safe space somewhere else. Somebody is ready to open their arms, to me. It's better than my wife. How will I say an example? A woman that does not cook and does not know about the well-being of the house, does not want to take care of the family, does not want to take care of the man, and he wants the man to be there at all time and everything. And fortunately for that man, he gets to work and find out that someone else, another woman is ready to make the meal, to bring to work for him, and take care of, few things, and ready to invite him over and all those things. The man will start saying that, what am I wasting my time with this with my wife that refused to that refused to care for me or prepare for me or prepare my meal, compared to the person that's always preparing my meal, or that's ready to prepare meal for me. He's going to start looking for a safe haven on that ground. And another thing that we can look at is, um, another thing that we can look at is minus the food aspect. Another thing is intimacy. When a man does not have what he craves for, he will look out for it, and that's natural. He will look out for it somewhere, somehow, and that's where the drinking comes in. You see, colleagues at work will definitely have a time when they will say, "Listen, guys, can we all meet out so place, and then we can." I'll tell you this of an experience. I have some colleagues at work that their own gathering is one either to go drink or to go to the casino,
mm,
to spend money in the casino to play pool, to play casino. and this is where they drink and then they gather together, both male and female, and they've invited me. They said it to me jokingly, but I always tell them, listen, number one, I don't gamble. Number two, I don't have that luxury. I don't have that time. But when, God forbid, you don't have a safe haven in your home, you start thinking about, okay, let me just go once. And one time is what hooks one. You know, God forbid somebody gets hooked up with a bad drink, and then from there, one time can actually lead to one's demise. So it's a thing that our ladies should understand, that we, as much as the men may want to explore and speak with their mind, if they are not being given that room to speak, or they're not being accepted, they're not being regarded, then they will not want to open up. And once they don't, somebody else will want to listen to them. Because no matter, like we were discussing, the last time that we were discussing, we was talking about where you pour out your stress, right? Something in that nature. You have to pour out the stress, the accumulated stress somehow. You have to pour it out. It's either you pour it out at the breast of your wife, or you pour it out at the hands of some other person. And it's better off when a woman is settled enough to listen and ask questions. How did your day go? Talk to me. Let me know what happens in your day. Be receptive enough to cuddle, to ask questions. Sometimes, just being there goes a long way to bring a man to understand what he's going through, and he wants to give back also, because he is thinking. I mean, a right thinking man, a man that understands what he's supposed to do, will be thinking of, okay, I need to provide for my family, I need to take care of bills and everything like that. And then he's still having the stress of what he's going through at work, and he's not having that intimacy that he's supposed to have. He'll look out for it somewhere else, and he's going to be spending more money doing that too. So that's just what I can put to that when it comes to expressing emotions. Because it's very hard when the next with the person you're working with, and the person you're staying with, does not listen to you. It's very, very, very hard.
Thank you so much for sharing, sir. Dr. Lanre, you're welcome. I sent you an invite. Kindly check so that you can join the conversation. You can check if you see the invite. So, as we were saying, we're talking about fatherhood and emotional safety for men. Emotional safety for men. Those that joined us online, if you can't talk, you can type. And the last question I asked was, as a father or as a man, what are the things we are expecting from our wife so that we can be emotionally safe as a father or as a husband, that can make our home to be a go-to area and have a friendly environment. So if you want to join the conversation, please, you can feel free to, I sent an invite. For those that are joining us on Instagram, I sent an invite. Just click it so that you can join the conversation. But if you can put on your audio where you are, you can just put in the chat. We want to make it interactive. Thank you so much for joining. So, the next thing we are discussing is, what are why do you think many fathers struggle with expressing their emotions? Why do you think so many fathers, they don't want to talk about their emotions? They don't want to feel judged.
Uh, Number one is that's just like you said, not to feel judged. Number two is the upbringing. I mean, growing up, most of us learn from our fathers. We learn from the people that are around us, basically. And growing up, you find that you pick up from issues that happen in different lives. When it comes to fatherhood, you become who you know to be. How do I mean? Your father is a person that is always uh, very hard on everything. He wants discipline and everything. It will speak back to you too to be disciplined and to be a disciplinarian. Sorry. And then if your father is a person that is always, I mean, you pick a trait, no matter how it is, you pick a trait from your growing up, and that's why it's important to have a father figure in the life of our kids because the children are being raised these days, especially I'm not taking anything from single motherhood, but the children that are being raised by single mothers don't learn that aspect of what men should know, what they should know as a man. And then they grow up becoming what they know. And that is why they don't even know how to act like a man. They act like girls, like a boy. You see a man that is in his 30s still behaving like a 15-year-old child. It's because that is everything he has known in his life. He never knew a father figure to train him through. Now, going to your question, it says, fathers struggle with expressing their emotion. No,
Yes, why do you think many fathers
struggle with their
struggle
emotions?
with expressing their
Expressing their
emotions?
It's because it's hard when you don't have someone that listens. So it's especially when you grow up from a situation where back in Africa where the father is like it's like the warlord in the house. Everybody have to respect him and everything. You don't see your father, you don't see the father say I love you or whatever. There's no expression of physical love to the children or whatever. So it tends to work on the child as a person. But now as a man, I mean as a father, I try to see the way I can mend that. Okay, fine. You have to cut off your emotions, as much as possible. You have to be a man, and that's the truth. Because you can't be sitting down and saying, "Oh, you know what? I want to cry on every issue. You just gotta pick it up and go. You don't let it linger for too long. Don't put yourself in a room and that you have to dwell on one particular thing. I'll give you a little example of myself. I try to pour out my heart to my wife as much as possible, which is good. And there was a time like that, and I had this issue that was pressing concerning bills and everything. Everything was just too much on me and everything. And the only thing I could do was just burst out in frustration. Oh, this. And the wife said, "Oh, so would that solve your problem?" And I just went away, I went to think about it and prayed about it. And at the end of the day, I just felt peace that, okay, fine, to take care of itself one way or the other. And things took care of themselves. But it got to that point where I was bottling it up. I couldn't express it because I was looking at it, okay, how can I solve it on my own? How can I deal with it and everything? Sometimes, like they always say, the problem shared is half solved. Sometimes you might share it, and from that word of sharing it, you might gain an insight. It's not because the person will help you. You might gain an insight from you sharing it with that person. You might understand, okay, I might do it this way and I might get a response. Or the person is the person that's more knowledgeable can tell you, you know what, why don't you try this way? Even may not be knowledgeable, even be a baby, a child, I'll tell you, why don't you try this way? And before you know it, you'll be able to get through that. But because it's very hard, especially for men. Men to open up, you have as women you have to be deliberate in asking questions. Be deliberate. Be intentional to know how his day go, what is happening to him. When you see him moody or when you see him keeping to himself, walk up to him and ask him, how can I be of help to you? Sometimes just that word alone can take away a lot of troubles, can bring him back from danger. Just you walking up to him. Sometimes, somebody says hugs give 1001 reactions. Just men just hugging your husband or your partner and just speaking good words, prayerful words to him or something can take away a lot of stress from his life. That's something that we as couples need to do more often, and that may help, may figure to be more receptive. I mean, to be more ready to open up and speak there and speak when they're going through stress.
Okay. Um, Thank you so much for sharing. Yes, we have in the comments here. For me, culture and parental modeling affected me in that regard. I had a father who bottled in everything while solving every family problems, wanting everybody to be okay while he was dying inside.
Besides, yep. That's what killed a lot of men, a lot of African men. Yep. That silence, and that's why you have so many women without husbands, because you find that they bottle everything up and they die easily. They die quick because while they keep bottling up, and they try to make everybody happy. They want the children to be safe. They want the wife to be okay. They want everybody to be family. Family members. It's not. Africa is a place where you have to cater for your family. So you have to think about your brothers, sisters, your uncle. And at the end of the day, bottling up all those things. Before you know it, the person has one so-called disease or whatever that is not even known to him. All of a sudden, he just hear that it's slum and he die. That's the truth. That's a very good one.
Thank you so much for sharing. But I have a question. Yes, it's good to show love to people around us. It's good to help family members. I believe that's why God have maybe created us or provided for us one way or the other. But one thing I've seen is sometimes women are not given, can I use the word opportunity to decide to make the decision together? Because I'm looking at it from this angle that if our husbands are rubbing minds with us before making some decisions to help, number one, it will save the man a lot of headaches, because there are some helps that are not needed. To be sincere, there are some helps that may even put the man in trouble.
Yeah, you're right. Um, the thing I see is this: men have. I mean, we when we call men and women, we have different personalities sometimes. But I say it depends on the individual too. Some men do not know how to ask. And for that regard, anybody that asks them, because they know, I'll put myself as an example. Because growing up, I was the fourth of six children, right? And being the fourth, I look at myself at a very tender age that, oh, my dad and my mom have to take care of all my headers, and then I have to take care of my younger ones, that I should not be the one to give them stress. I should be the one that take away some of their troubles. But then from then, I started becoming like more responsible for myself and for anybody around me. Okay, now going on that regard, I decided on my own that I'm not going to be able to. It took me too hard to be asking for help. So now growing up to that point, I could not ask. If I ask anybody for anything and I don't get it, I feel bitter to the point that I feel like somebody has beating me with stripes I cannot hold. So growing up on that regard, I have felt that somebody else might need help. The person doesn't need to ask me twice for me to be able to render that help. I put people in my shoes. So sometimes it's hard for you to now go back and say, oh, you know what, somebody needs help, I need to help the person. Because you are putting yourself, no, you're putting yourself.
It's not like permission.
I understand.
I'm not talking about permission here.
Like reason together to know where the help, what you're doing. Yes, I understand it, but it depends on how the person grew up. Like I'm just telling you about a little of my own story. That it's now hard for me to ask somebody. Now imagine somebody else asks me. I put myself in that shoe. That how will I feel if I don't get what I'm being asked? That is the reason why it bemoans me to help selflessly without thinking of, I may have done it and now say, why did I do this? But I will want to do it. There are many times I have to help that I can't. And the funny thing is, anything that goes out of my pocket is gone. I don't think about it. I don't want to think about who I gave or why I gave or whatever. It's gone, it's gone. So I always try to put that to myself as a man. So it's hard sometimes, for you to now come out of that shell. And that is where that emotional relationship comes in between the couple. When you are very, very emotional in asking your spouse, what exactly do you need? How exactly do we plan? What exactly do you want me to do for you? As much as you want to help anybody is fine. But when that communication is there, when that cordiality is there, look for what your partner wants and give it to him. Let him have it. And then when they have it, you'll be very surprised how much he will pour out to you to tell you everything possible. Including even giving out arms that he's doing or whatever. He will tell you the reason why. Many people have not had that room to discuss. And that is why it seems as, why are you doing this? You didn't tell me. You didn't know how this man, what he has been through in his younger age, how he has gotten to, and what he has resolved to as a person. That I will always help others because I was not helped. I will always show love to others, even if I was not being shown love to. So that is something that we should look at too. That maybe this is a repercussion of what he went through as a child. Some people are so loving as a child. They love them. They have a very loving family. Like I shared a couple of days ago about my friend that his children are telling him that they wish they can have a relationship like his and his wife, where they are so lovey. They never found out. They never see them, fight each other or whatever. They're always loving to each other and all those things. They are looking for that kind of relationship. That is something we should pass to our children, letting them see what it means to be loved, letting them see how we treat our wives and how we treat our husbands.
Thank you so much for sharing, sir. My conclusion to that is communication.
Yep.
That will really help our husband to be able to express their feelings. Because with what Dr. Lawrence shared about helping others, you want to show love, you want to help others, but you are dying inside.
Yep.
So many men are sick and their wife, they sleep on the same bed.
Yep.
And the wife is not aware.
Yep.
Not that, okay, I have another comment said, you are right. My problem is I don't like to disturb people. Or when people make me feel I'm disturbing them, I just withdraw. Maybe I need help. Yes. Yes, it's not that at times, what people are going through, the person you are discussing with for help, his or her mind may not even be with you in the first place. And when the person is not responding, will feel as if, maybe I'm disturbing this person. Let me just keep quiet. The person it's not even recorded in the person's brain that you are communicating. So what has really helped me is that I always want people to understand the message I'm passing across. I'm someone that is very, very sensitive to body language. I am very sensitive to body language. So I believe in, let's say maybe I discuss my vision with you now. I have a project I want to work on. I will mention the project to you. If you don't come back to me to like, Oluwadunsin, how far with what you just discussed with me? That means you are not interested. So that means you are not my target audience to help me in that project. Nothing, no string attached. I face my lane. That is it. So with that has really helped me not to just be a talkative, like talking to everyone, but have helped me to select people around me, those that understand my vision, those that understand maybe my plans or what I want to do. So I won't feel as if I'm disturbing people, I'm a parasite. Oh, this person, the way this person is reacting. No, it's because they are not made for you. So we don't need to, we just need to do is we need to recognize those that understand us. And I will bring this to religion a little. In Christianity, we are encouraged that before we get married, you have to pray through, you have to seek the face of God on your life partner, the person that you'll be able to sail the boat together. This part of the importance, because we believe that God sees the end from the beginning. God will not give you someone that will not complement your vision. God will not give you someone that you will say A and will tell you is Z. He will give you someone that you can reach a conclusion almost every time. Yes, there will be some time that you will disagree, but you will still come back to that conclusion and peace will reign. So that's the importance of praying ahead. So it goes hand in hand. Though we always leave this, so many people don't believe in it. Be like, oh, how will I be disturbing God to pray and help me to lead me? Or maybe we want to choose our friends, even business partners. There is need for us because some want to claim ownership. Some want to sit at the front row, but they are not ready to pay the price. So even if you are asking them for help, they will feel as if you are disturbing them, or you will feel that you are disturbing them. But when you have a business partner that understands your vision, you just need to say, hey, the person is ready to do BCD with you. Thank you so much for the comments. Thank you. I really appreciate. What are ways women and families can help men feel safe being emotionally honest? What are ways women, families can help men feel safe and emotionally honest?
What are ways women and family? Well, I would say number one, being thankful. As much as we are grateful to God for giving us the man and for giving us the husband, we should be thankful to them. We, we can no matter
Appreciative.
appreciative in any way. Recently I was teaching a class. I was talking about that. I was talking about a little girl that was always asking. And he said, oh, daddy, I need this, daddy, I need this, daddy, I need this. And the mother called the child and said, oh, when last did you speak to your dad? Did you talk to him? He said, oh, I always talk to my dad. He said, what do you always talk to him about? I told him that I need a shoe. I told him that I need bag. I told him that I need this. That's only talk, only hacks. You're not talking to him, you're asking him. There is no time you have actually said, Dad, I just want to say thank you. Not for anything, I don't need anything, just want to say thank you. So that will go a long way to build him up emotionally. But family and friends can see that being genuinely thankful. I always make this joke that on everybody's birthday, the father will be the one to buy everything. On the father's birthday, the father will still be the one to buy everything for his own birthday. On Mother's Day, everybody will want to celebrate mother, but they'll go and meet daddy. Daddy will now be the one to bring out the money. On Father's Day, they will still be the one.
Yeah, but at least the family will still celebrate you. They will give you plans.
See, what I'm saying is, at least take time to show love. Try to reduce his stress as much as possible.
Give me.
It's good to ask, but if you don't need something, don't push for it. Let it be something that is needed, not something that you want. Because most of the time, and I try to impress this on my children, that It's not what you want, is
What
what
you
you
need.
need. Because if you start piling up shoes, you're going to outgrow these shoes in 6 months. So why do you want to pile them up? But if you need one shoe, you get one shoe. When that or two, when it's done, then you get another one because you are going to outgrow it anyway. So that will give that man a little bit of leeway to be able to plan for the next time. Because you may not see there are 1001 things that a man will be thinking of. Oh, I need to improve this part. I need to improve this part. Oh, this part of the family needs to be done. Oh, this family needs to be taken care of. But the family is not seeing that man. They're only seeing him as a checkbook. Somebody was saying something yesterday. They said, "Oh, I mean, a pastor jokingly was saying, oh, you know what? Lay your hand on your purse, lay your hand on your whatever wallet or your phone, whatever your currency is, lay it there and let God bless it, right?" And the woman was with him right there on the stage, and the woman have to place his hand on the man's shoulder. That's where my currency lies. Looking at it, what do you expect the man to do? That means he doesn't have a choice but to feed you and feed the whole home. And then there are still thousands of children that he may have. I mean, that's not biological, that I need to take care of. So those are the things that we need to look at. I look at some kids, that I feel they'll be going through the same thing because they don't have a father figure in their life. So one of these days, I just stepped up to the young man and I asked him, "What are you doing with your life?" And he looked at me and said, "Well, uncle, I have to do this. I have to." I said, "You know what? I'll see what I can do." There was a day I woke up to him and I told him, "Why am I calling you and you don't pick up your phone?" I said, "Okay, you know what? I'll take care of that for you for the whole year." Because we have to understand it. Be grateful. Try to be appreciative. Try to look out for them too. Try to do whatever for them to be happy. Don't be like, "Oh, you know what? Go and take care of yourself." When he's thinking about 1001 things, the only thing that is not waiting for is, "Okay, man, prepare my meal." And then you can't prepare the meal, or pack my meal, and you can't pack the meal. And you're expecting him to pack the meal and still think about the 1000 things he's thinking about. It's just going to be bottling up and then it's going to explode one of the days. So you just have to, in one way, help in whatever way we can.
Thank you so much for sharing. We have in the comments, please, if you're joining us on our social media, kindly, you can put in the comment section if you have anything to say. Thank you so much. We really want to make it interactive. We have in the comment section, "To make me feel safe and emotional honest, I love my wife to maintain confidentiality and avoid giving unsolicited advice." Unsolicited advice from who? Is it from the wife or from people?
It depends. Sometimes, some women. I mean, women sometimes feel like they they have the whole solution to things. And I see from his angle, looking from that man's angle now, that women sometimes think that they see everything. Yeah. Oh, I know better. But you're not coming from where the man is coming from. You've not been to where the man has been to. You're not beaten with the same stripes that the man has been beaten with. So he's telling you what he's going through. You have to see from. That's why you have to be genuinely, intentionally attentive to him. Ask questions. Be loving. Even the Bible says that you should be happy with the breast of your wife. That's the Songs of Solomon, and that's this Song of Solomon, or because you have to be loving enough for the man to be able to express himself deeply. When the man can express himself deeply, that's when you can know how to respond. Don't be quick to judge, and that's where some ladies are missing it. They're quick to judge. You're not letting the man speak. You just want to give your own response. And when you're like that, the man, especially a man that doesn't want trouble, will just walk away and just don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But a woman that is ready to listen and then say, "Okay, I'm sorry. that word alone can take away the whole pain that man has been going through all the while. So it goes a long way.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, sometimes I just want her to listen.
That's
I
it.
remember a book I read is about fathers. I can't remember the title of that book. I borrowed it from the library. It's about father. I can't remember the topic of that book. I like what the speaker is saying. Okay. I like what the speaker is saying now. Yes. In that book, it was written there that when you are talking about men's emotion, it's related to emotion. When you're talking about men's emotion, at times it doesn't feel like talking. I mean, it doesn't feel like it doesn't need your advice.
Just need to
It
listen.
just needs you to listen. So, and one of the newsletter I write daily, I wrote it there. I remember maybe 2 or 3 days ago that it doesn't need your advice. All you just need to do is prepare a good meal. That's just what he needs at that time. Prepare him a good meal, be lovely. Maybe you advise, okay, can we see a movie together, or you want to play a game? Though I'm not a game person, but maybe you want to see a movie together, you want to listen to a message, or you want to take a walk. Can we take a walk? Or don't talk about it. Even though he expressed his mind, don't even say anything. So when the whole thing now died down, you can now, do you want us to talk about it? Do you want us to rub minds on the solution? Don't be a counselor, because when you be a counselor, that may push the man away not to talk. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing. Have you ever experienced a man express deep emotion? How did it impact you?
I have. I never saw my dad cry except once. And that once was the day he lost his wife, which is my mother. Because this man, I always see him as he knows all, he knows what to do. When issues happen, he knows what to do. When you see him cry, then after that, I felt he was crying because I mean, he was crying inside his heart because I saw it in his face. That actually made me want to be different. It impacted me as a person that I need to be different. I need to make sure that this does not become me. Because when you see a man that wants to provide for his home and can't, he has done all things possible and he cannot, you'll be understanding. Because I saw that in my dad. He tried all he could. He had to leave home to travel to another state entirely to go and fend so that we can have something. But he couldn't because the contract just closed all of a sudden. It's a government contract, they just closed the contract all of a sudden and they didn't pay them. So there was no way for him to even come back home to us. So he decided he was going to live in the sites like an homeless man, not coming home. This is a life story. Not coming back home because he does not want to face us to tell us that he cannot provide for our meal. I'm telling you, this happens to us for almost a year. That we didn't even hear of him. Not knowing that we thought he forgot about him, not knowing that he was actually suffering. But after a while, my brother just said, you know what, I'm going to go look out for him. He didn't know where he's going to look out. He just said, I'm going to go look for him somewhere. And luckily for him, he was able to find him. And then from there, he was able to share his heart and say, listen, this is the reason why I refuse to come back. Because I cannot come back and face you guys and see you guys suffering. I can't. I'm going to kill myself for that. So if a man can go through that kind of emotion and still try to be a man, men, give kudos to them. I won't lie to you. Some men are like that too now, even here in America. Some men are like that they're trying their best, they're doing everything possible to make sure they fend for their family. But the family are not seeing it. I could remember the time that I was without a job. If I didn't have a loving wife that would be there to say, you know what, everything will be fine, I will lose it. God forbid that I have the burdens that I have right now, and God forbid that one has to lose a job. You can imagine how stressful it will look like. You have to pay your bills, you have to pay for the house rent, you have to pay the mortgage or whatever. How do you want to do it? It tends some men to run away entirely and just say, you know what, I'm done. So it's going to impact you as a man to want to push forward. And the impact that built to me is that whatever it is to survive, I got to do it. I'm not thinking about, oh, you know what, I have to do my job. I mean, this is the field that I'm good at. That's where I have to get a job. If I don't get a job in that field, I do something else. I could remember during the impact that had to me was during the COVID period. You know, because I've been used to that point of, you know what, you got to fend. You got to find a way to fend for yourself. You got to find a way to fend for your family. And then there was no job. My boss told me, listen, you got to find. I can't be going out anymore because I don't want to fall sick too. So you know what, you have to stay at home and go and apply for the $600 or whatever they're giving to everybody. But maybe they can, you know, maybe that can be it. So how am I going to live like that? I don't know how to live in begging. I got to go out. So I took my car and I started going to do Uber and Lyft. You know, so what am I saying is it will impact you one way or the other. When you see men cry, when you see somebody open up his heart, because they do, especially when you have man-to-man talk. You know, there's a time that we just got together and we're talking, and they said, oh, I wish I can just have some break. If a man once a man voice that out, you should know that yes, he is getting his stuff. There's a young man that I know, he has children and is going through a lot of stress from the wife. Sometimes you just like, oh, I wish I can just have a break. Sometimes you know, he won't want to say it out, but we pray that God should either take him or take the wife so that he can have peace.
Yeah, I had a situation like that. You know, they had a lot of pressure in the house, and at a point, they said the wife was like, at least if she should die today, the man will have peace. The wife will have
It's
peace.
true.
Yeah, yeah,
It's true.
it's true.
So it's for us to be intentional to know, because all these issues are important and we don't talk about it, and that's where it's painful. We literally do not talk about emotions of men. We don't talk about how they really feel. You know, we don't really want to go into their mind and see what they are going through. We want them to be champions. We want them to hold the home. We want them to be who we want them to be as a wife. You know, want my husband to be up there. You know, to have this amount. So you know, and it's even worse. Especially, I'm saying this for us to pray for our young generation, because the way and manner they are going is all about wealth. Especially the young ladies, all they're thinking about is money. They're not thinking about how do I build with this man. They're not thinking about how do I make it. You know, they're thinking about he must have 6 figure, or he must be this, he must be that. No, you have to. That's why it's better for us to be able to channel their mindset to listen. It's not about what a man can give you. It's about what you can build a man to have. You know, building a man will help the man to also build himself. And that's the truth. So emotions and how it impacts a man, a deep emotions like that, especially when a man shares his innermost thoughts, sometimes it may be just through chit chat. And they just tell you something like, wow. So you're going through all this pain. We went for a program and then we're all shooting pool together. And a young man, one of us that was not married, said, man, I can't wait to marry, man. I can't wait to marry. and this guy just looked at me and looked at him and said, you said what? You can't wait to marry? Ask Baraki and ask me. I will tell you. When you know what you go through, you better pray very well. Pray very well, because you definitely go through it. Because when you get there, when your wife is telling you some things, you'll be like, why did I even marry in the first place? And the guy looked at both of us and I just smiled and said, well, I understand him from his perspective, and I understand you from where you're coming from too. So I am in between both of you, but I can tell you that the only thing you can do is what, pray to God and hope to have the best of the best for yourself too. So that's all I can put
Thank
together.
you. Thank you so much. Esther Hem says, I think spelling things out to one's partner. Okay, hold on. I think spelling things out to one's partner sometimes is crucial too, because one can't see what is going on in the mind.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to tell a partner, please just sit and listen. Another comment: the presentation of our issues to our spouse is important. I think that presentation is what causes problem most times. It's important. If you are the type of husband that your countenance is up there, I mean your face is always high, it can affect the other person.
Yeah. That's true.
It's true. When that face is not welcoming, what do you want to say? What do you have in mind? Especially when maybe the wife is housewife or the wife is not learned enough. Because I've seen that a lot. When a woman is not going out to work or not maybe just a high school graduate, men at times, I'm not saying all men, some men will be like, what do you know? You don't even have an idea of what I'm going through. And to me, you being coming down, let's calm down too as fathers. I'm talking to our fathers now. I'm not canceling you because Dr. Larry put it in the don't be a counselor. So not that I'm canceling you. But at least let's be friendly. And before you talk, sir, we are talking about this emotion thing. Oh, my wife must understand me, must be welcoming, must be this. And a question comes to my mind. For a mother that is a stay-at-home mom, because it's two different things. I've been there. So I understand this thing. A woman that is a stay-at-home mom has all the certification you can think of, but can't go out to work just because she want to fill in the gap. And the man will come home and still does not want to talk to the wife or maybe relate with the wife just because he's feeling the wife is an outcast or the wife does not have the experience or the brain to like relate with him on from his pain or emotion perspective. What can you say in that angle? Because that may even push the woman to make the life of that husband more miserable.
Now, I'll put it this. They said a soft answer always turn away wrath. Always. If a man is high and the woman is soft, it will definitely bring the man down. But if a man is high and the woman wants to take it high, it's going to be war anyhow. And that's where most of our women are not sent. Like, oh, because he's always speaking like I should speak like that too to him. It's cut off their ego. It destroys their personality. Somebody said something about men. He said, think about it as is an umbrella that you need once in a while. Right? When there is sun, you need an umbrella to shield you from that sun. When there is rain, you need an umbrella to shield you from the droplet of the rain. That is what your man is. He's shielding you from a lot of things. So if you now talk or batter that umbrella, you put all in it through your words or through your actions, how do you expect it to be a covering to you? That's the question. And when you look at it from that perspective, in the sense that we in the sense of women, the men wants, number one, a submissive wife. Submissive, not that it should be a slave, but submissive enough to be loving, submissive enough to be to listen sometimes, submissive enough to be there. And I'll say this: most of the women feel, I mean, most of our women feel like, oh, especially the working ones, oh, I've been to work and whatever, I've been working since morning, therefore, I don't want to attend to your sexual need. That alone can build a lot of gap in the family.
But do you know that one thing, and I always say this thing, even a mad woman, like someone that is insane, that have a mental disability, wants a good home. If a woman, let's say the person is tired, she's tired, she has been working all day, even she didn't go out, but she was inside the house all day working, and a man comes in and was like, oh, I've gone out since morning, at least let me spend some time with my wife. And the wife says, oh no. I remember to a preacher, he says, all married women, all married men always hear that no, almost every day. Almost every day. You know, and the woman said no. Do you know that if the man softly talk to the woman, pet her, let her feel appreciated too? Because see, this thing makes one to switch off, especially for women that don't work, that are in the house, because they will feel as if, what are you trying to tell me? Are you telling me, especially when the man is like, at least you didn't go out since morning, what have you been doing? That thing can make the woman to get agitated, and the man will not get the request. The woman will go to bed angry. But when we are soft, don't we think, as a man, yes, I understand the fact that, yes, I'm a man of the house. Whatever I want, you must do it.
Good. And most of us are from that same, are from the culture of men have to be men, right? And that's a black culture. Because I was talking to a man that grew up in this country, but he's an aged man now, he's 70 something. He said exactly the same thing that we were talking about being an African, the same thing that went through right here. That means that they are loving, they're listening, they need to be the man. Okay? But what am I saying about when I come to intimacy these days? I was listening to women's program. They were having a women's program, and then they were asking this old woman. They said, "Oh, aged woman." They said, "Oh, man, you've been married for so long. How do you keep your man?" He said, "Be loving enough to accept him anytime he wants you." And the woman and the young lady that was, in a said, "Sometimes you are tired, really, really tired. Just let him do his thing." And there you go. Said, why? That will help him to be more loving. That will help him to keep the home. That will help him to want to come home. He won't want to run away. Because
but there are some men that even if you
go
extra miles, they will do what they want to do.
Those are exceptional cases. But what I'm saying is, when a man is having what he wants, he will not want to go somewhere else. I will tell you this: men are like dogs. Truthfully, if a dog comes every day and he can see food here, he will not go anywhere else. He will come in there, right? He will always come. Or cats. I have some cats at my stray cats at my place of work. They know this guy. Anywhere that guy is, because the guy always give them food. Anywhere that guy is, this cat will look for him. Sometimes he's washing the train somewhere. They will go and stay by where he's washing. When he's in his locker room, they know when he's in his locker room, they go and stay by the door. When he's in the other place, they will walk down there and stay there. Like, that's my friend. And he comes out, they go walk up to him and stay by him. Sometimes they just go by him and drop their body. Why? because that is how we are built as human too. We tend to be loving. We tend to, no matter how it is, you want to go home. And that's where some men and some old women are losing their husband, because you are your no is becoming too paramount for them to say, you know what, let me stay outside and
But
take my
I
time.
want to I want to say something. How is the man asking it to?
Wow.
Because we have to pay attention to this thing.
Okay.
Yes, old lady saying that, oh, anytime your woman come around, just tell, oh, I'm free. But it will not work for all these generation ladies. We have to
Yeah.
be, see, one thing
I,
is, I don't deceive myself. We have to be real. We have to be real. An adage in my language drop on my mind, and I will try to interpret it in English, that a soft talk will bring out cola nut from your pocket. Yes, I'm not saying that we should be pleading, please now. No, that's not what I'm saying. That please, no. We spoke about appreciating our husband, right? Men, do we appreciate our wives? Because we hear no every day, we hear no every second. But do we show this appreciation? Is this woman really even seeing it, that, oh, the sacrifice I'm paying for me not to work, this man can see it. Not you just coming in and like, oh, see everywhere that is dirty. What have you been doing since morning? Oh, see that. And that makes some women to be like, what do you mean? So, do we use appreciative words for our ladies too, for our women, for our queen too?
yeah, I will say that, and in the fairness of a woman, I will say this, that if you want to know how a woman feel, take that responsibility for a day of taking care of the home, which I've done sometimes. And I see that it's not been easy. I mean, it wasn't easy, especially when it comes to the kids. You find out that they are more, you will not have that rest as much as you think you might have it. For me as a man, anytime I come home and I want to rest, I can rest. My kids know, they'll give me space. So, but notwithstanding, when it's for me to make sure that everything is done the way I want it to be done, which is what the woman will always want. Everything wants to be done. Oh, have you done your assignment? Have you done this? Have you done this? Have you done that? When a man has that responsibility for just one day, you will be able to say thank you to your wife. And that's the truth. And that I have learned. I learned it the hard way anyway. But I learned it because I started saying thank you in many cases. Oh, thank you so much. No matter how simple the task is, thank you. Why I'm saying that is because I have learned from what many people do not want to do, which is take care of the family, to see what they are going through, see how your wife is doing it. I'll say this: when my wife first got a job, she had been the one taking care of the kids, running around and all those things, and now she was like, you know what? I am now going to work. You have to not take responsibility for a while. I said, ha, here I am, trouble has come. So, for the first few weeks, it was very challenging because I look at it, how am I going to? I took some, especially when she traveled, I had to take off from work and I have to take care of the kids. When I see the stress she goes through, preparing their meal, making sure that this one does the assignment, the other one does the assignment, plays this instrument, do this, do that, do that. And I get one out at the end of the day. I said, wow, this is good. This is what this girl is going through every single day. So I started knowing, how to be appreciative a little bit. And then when now it becomes that both of us are working, I have to now make sure that I set up cameras enough for me to be able to watch them even when they don't know I am watching them. Why? I tell them, I say, listen, that you got to a point that my second son will say, Dad is always watching. Sometimes he will not say anything, but he's always watching. Even if I'm not watching, he will say it. That is always watching. Why am I saying that? Is because they are still young. We need to build them. So we need to learn to appreciate our wives, and I'll say that. But at the same time, our wives should stop saying no.
Hmm? Your wife should still do it.
Our wives should stop saying no.
They should stop saying no.
Yeah.
Okay, I hear you. In the comment section, in Africa, men keep developing themselves, acquiring new knowledge here and there, but leave their wives at the same level
Yep.
they married them. This creates a wide knowledge gap that affects them. Very true. Very, very true. You know, I was it a book I read or I was discussing with someone, maybe when I was in college. Um, After getting married, there are a lot of things that changes in women. It changes. Dressing, some they don't even care. Well, please, it doesn't matter, and they just want to. But you are this kind of man that always wants your wife to be top notch. Instead for the man to like come, my love, look at this video or follow this, read this something, or look at this combination of outfits and co. We will not want to say anything about it. That is simple, right? Cooking. Some women, yes, they are very blessed with adding too much salt to the meal. Instead for the man to register the woman for cooking or for baking, at least have some KFC taste in your house. It will be complain. All these things will be making gap. Those are simple things that can be related to all women. There are a lot of ways women can be knowledgeable. Recently, I was discussing with someone, was talking about marriage retreat, family marriage retreat. When I asked them that, oh, tell me more about this, he sent me the link, and I was like, I just told my husband, we need to go for retreat. It's a family retreat. It's for husband and wife. Because when he was discussing with us about this man is a pastor, but he said he got to a stage in the section that they have to put them into breakout sections, husband and wife. Tell me what you hate about me. And the wife too were like, come, yes, you're a pastor, but I don't like this about you. And they trashed it out and it helped their relationship. Something like that, go with your wife for uh, retreats like that. It will help. Yes, we go to church, we listen to sermons. Yes, we are praying, we pray together. But there are some times that we just need to go out there and
Learn
they've
from others.
learn from others, because they have sections that it's only men, only women. Rub minds. Oh, why is it that my wife is always like this? I will be like, oh, why is it that my husband is always like this? And you discuss about it. It's always, always help. Um, Esther Hem says, I'm very sure that during the hold mama time, it will get to a certain time that the mama will surely say no to her husband because the body is not a firewood. Yes, very, very valid. Yes, I'm very sure that the mama will not remember that one, that time that she will say no. But even if she did not say no, mama is different from me. That is it. So we should not use that as a yardstick. One thing, and I'm bringing this to conclusion, is that there is a place of communication. For as much as we really want to help our fathers, our husband, there is a place of communication. How much time do we spend communicating with each other? How much time do we spend with each other? Recently I told my husband that I feel like taking you out. When I told him I feel like taking you out, he wasn't to laugh because he knows that I'm this economist. I must tell you the truth. I'm this economist that I'll be like, oh, the food I'll eat outside, I can cook it in my house. I'll cook it for you. So when I told him, I feel like taking you out. It was like, taking me out. He has not even answered me till now. I said, yes, I want to take you. I want to give you a special treat. I want to give you a treat. It's very important to spice our relationship. Let's spice it. Let's communicate. Let's communicate. Let's communicate. Let's help our husbands' emotion, and husbands too. Please help mothers' emotion. This thing is not one-way traffic. Oh. It's two-way thing. I help you. I rub your back. You rub my back. That's what makes the relationship work and makes it interesting. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are going to have episode 3 on Saturday. If you want to join us, you are welcome. We are still on Father's celebration, as June is dedicated to our fathers. And I see reasons that we may discuss this beyond June. If you have found this video or interaction so interesting or effective, you can send a DM. If you have a suggestion concerning it on how we can reach more homes, kindly send a DM. Thank you so much for joining us
Share,
today.
share with your
Please,
colleagues.
you can share with your colleagues and friends too, and families. And we have a summer program starting next week. Yes, we spoke about development, knowledge gap. Our women, we just don't want you to sit down at home and just be doing the sweeping alone. We want you to learn a skill. When you learn a skill, even though you are still taking care of those children, you can make money from your living room. A lot of things you can do. Maybe your cooking still needs some grade A thing. Yes, your husband have been complaining about your cooking. We are going to have a baking section from an expert. We have a section for emotional intelligence. We have section sewing, though the sewing will be foundation, but at least for you to start something. If it's just for you to be making skirts for your daughter or making a bow tie for your husband, I remember when I just started sewing, my husband would put on my house. Even when I made the houses, I'm like, oh, this is not looking too good. My husband said, don't worry, I'm going to wear it like that. I'm going to tell people that you made it. And that really built my confidence. So please, let's learn something. And if we have children that is between the ages of 6 to 18, let's encourage them to join, to learn something. Let them learn something. This summer time, this holiday, it's a long vacation. Don't let them spend too much time on phone, pressing phone and pressing phone. Let them be creative. They can create their games too. They can make money. They can start making money from now. So that's the concept behind this summer program. Please, let's register our children. Let's try to encourage them. As fathers, let's encourage our wives. As mothers too, let's encourage our fathers. Thank you so much for joining, and I want to use this medium to appreciate Freeport Memorial Library for giving us this space. I want to appreciate Harmony Healthcare, EOC, Queens County, and Nassau County for the love, for supporting Mindful Moms. Thank you so much. See you all on Saturday. Thank you, and God bless you. Have a nice day. Bye.